What's up, guys? Welcome back to the episode 17 of the Film Room. Finally, we're here with Perry, William, and Christian. Guys, how's it going today?
What is going on, y'all? I'm super excited for the pod, man.
So,
What it do,
guys,
guys?
recently we had arguably one of the biggest films of the summer just come by and just fly by, just like that. I saw it twice. I'm gonna say three times very soon, but it's time for us to discuss Superman. The people who are watching or listening, if you've not seen it, please go watch it and then watch this podcast because the spoiler-free discussion. And guys, it's time to discuss Superman. What are your thoughts? Perry, will begin with you first. What are your thoughts on Superman and how you feel about it overall?
So this was my most anticipated movie of this year going into it. I thought that James Gunn starting a new DC universe, very exciting stuff to look forward to. I was a big fan of all the castings and the trailers beforehand. And I left the theater. I enjoyed it. I wanted to love it. I'm not all the way there. But I did leave with having a very good time with it. I think that it has a lot going on all at once. I understand you're starting a brand new universe in the DCU, and it really just throws you straight into the action, like immediately. And you're into this universe and you're catching up to it. So it was a little jarring on first watch being thrown right into it, but it's everything that I saw, I enjoyed. I thought David Corenswet as Superman was brilliant. Just really, I'm so happy that there's a Superman that resembles hope and goodness now, and not these evil Superman takes like the Omni-Mans, the Homelanders, all that. I'm really happy that we get to see this kind of version of Superman going forward. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, I thought was brilliant. I thought their chemistry together, like that interview scene with them, was great. And then one of probably the main standout of this whole movie for me was Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult. I gotta be better at hating because like it's crazy. He really channeled the real Steel action with the 1A. His envy is a calling. It's the sole hope for humanity because it's what's driven him to annihilate Superman. I thought he was great. I thought the him opening a pocket universe and having these monkeys just spewing shit on Twitter. So good. That's Lex Luthor. And I'm really excited for this universe going forward. I love this whole colorful environment of it. Feels straight out of a comic book. And I just genuinely had a good time. I acknowledge that it's kind of a mess. It's not a perfect film, but there's a lot to like and a lot to look forward to going forward. And also this got me excited for Supergirl as well. I know that's coming out next year, and it's being based off of the Woman of Tomorrow comic storyline. I think that's awesome. If the viewers don't know, that's where she goes to different planets with red suns to get drunk because she wants to forget the trauma of losing Krypton. So it's going to be a darker take than this kind of Superman. And I am just excited for all the new slate going forward and love crypto. I'll always take all crypto.
All right, Christian, how about you?
Well, okay, wow. Okay, so to start off, number one, like I want to give my rating of what I thought about Superman. It definitely was one of my most anticipated films coming into 2025 for sure. Like ever since they teased it and whatnot, like it's definitely been up there for my most anticipated. But besides that, I'd say like for me, let's like get a rating. It's 86 out of 100. I'd say like it's pretty high. I mean, I definitely watched that movie not expecting so much going on. To be honest, it definitely like Perry said, like it's not a perfect film, but it's definitely an enjoyable film.
Mhm.
I think it kind of shows Superman in this light that we haven't seen, in live action before, kind of bringing the human, like the
Mhm.
humanity of Superman. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
one thing about this Superman that I really enjoyed was his humanity. You know,
Mhm.
and I felt you feel it in the movie. Especially when he gives that speech in Lex Luthor's headquarters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I definitely, I don't know. I think the audience resonated with that. Not making him seem so high and mighty, I guess, and making him seem more human. Like, yes, he's Kryptonian, but he's also a human that
Mhm.
loves, that gets scared, that can relate to us. You know what I mean? So I think that was definitely one of the highlights of the movie for me. But besides that, I'm excited. I'm excited for the DCU. I think James Gunn did a pretty good job. I don't think he did like perfect. Obviously, like it's hard to get one of those 90s for the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get that. But I think, around 85, like he did good, like he definitely did good, and it's doing pretty well in the box office. I think it's at 317 million right now.
It's around that range. It's
around
trying to
that.
reach 400
Past
million.
400.
Yeah.
400 now?
It's around 400 million.
400 million now. Wow, yeah. So it's performing. It's performing. I think
Slowly, but it's getting there.
it's getting there. Yeah. So besides that, I really liked Lois Lane as well. I think the chemistry between her and Superman and was really good. And that scene where they're kissing and flying up at the end, like, that was so good, man.
Yeah.
Got me cheesing, man. But besides that, the last thing I'd like to say is Guy Gardner needs a new haircut. So that's it. Yeah.
All right. Now, for my take. The first time I saw it, I saw some questionable moments in this movie that made me think that it wasn't the greatest film of the year. There were thoughts that I've had during certain moments. I'm not trying to be full on spoiler talk because I know William has not seen it yet. Hopefully, after we talk about this movie more, William will be like, "Oh, wait, I'll see it now." Hopefully, we'll help him out. But this movie definitely felt. I'm gonna bring some Marvel into here. It felt like Captain America, the Winter Soldier, because of all the characters that were in this movie, and it felt very entertaining in that sense because you saw moments for Guy Gardner, moments for Hawkgirl, moments for Crypto. Everyone had their own deserved moment in this film, and the same way it happened for Winter Soldier. Everyone in that film had their own deserved moment, and I love both films for their own certain reasons. This film, I'm always going to be a huge, diehard number one Henry Cavill fan. Henry Cavill is always my Superman. So seeing a new Superman played by David Cornswet, who definitely did a good job, but this Superman, he would die instantly to the villains in Man of Steel. He would instantly, he wouldn't be able to survive in that movie. That's just my opinion, because this movie, it shows him being able to get hurt, being able to look more human and have something in common with the people of Metropolis, while also being able to heal fast and also showing hope for the kids and families all around the world and in the movie. So he's much more human-like, I think. Well, Henry Cavill is much more like Man of Steel. This movie, you could definitely tell it's a James Gunn film, but the camera work, the music, the family aspirations, especially at the very end of the movie. This movie definitely had James Gunn's stamp all over it. And like you said, Christian, Guy Gardner's haircut was my number one issue for sure. Was one of the issues. Mine and Lois Lane.
Atrocious.
Lois Lane agreed too. Your haircut should be against your vows. Like that was the best line. That was one of the best.
That was so funny.
But yes, looking at Crypto, it's like watching my dog on screen. I had the same dog, just different breed, the same way he acts and everything. So it's like watching my dog on screen, which is one of the cutest things ever. And again, this movie I think was a decent start to the new DCU. I'm looking forward now to seeing what Supergirl is about after seeing her cameo in the end. And again, watching the movie a second time, seeing the fan reactions around me, how they all gasped to Supergirl, that gave me goosebumps. And the fact that she's from House of Dragons, one of the biggest series on HBO Max, she's a really great actress, and I cannot wait to see her in Supergirl. I can't wait to see Lobo make his appearance in Supergirl as well, played by Jason Momoa.
Oh yeah,
And overall, my main takeaways in this movie was the camera movement, especially during the flying scenes. I love the action. I loved this version of Lex Luthor. I made a video on TikTok praising Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I loved this version. I loved how he showed his obsession for taking out Superman in this film. It was definitely more Lex Luthor-like. And
he was a D1 hater, man.
Yes. And like Perry said, that one monologue that leads to 1A. Dude, I had that video saved on my phone from Twitter, and I watch that clip every day because of how peak that one speech moment from him is. I loved it, and I cannot wait to actually do a reaction clip to that one scene from the movie one day on TikTok. Because this man is like you said, peak hater for Superman, and they really did a good job. Even though it's weird to see him play a villain, because he's played a protagonist in all those other movies. So this is the first time I see him playing a villain, which is definitely
Beast, right?
Beast, yeah. But this is the first time seeing him play a villain in a big movie, and that's the only thing that looked off to me, because Nicholas Hoult as a villain just didn't fit right until I actually had to see the second time, and that one speech definitely sold me, I feel like. But overall, I do give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's not awful. It is a great start to DCU, and I'm just looking forward to seeing a potential sequel, because David Cornsweet is under contract for a sequel, he said in an interview. So I'm looking forward to seeing that sequel, what it's going to be called, and I'm looking forward to seeing more David and how he's going to grow as Superman also in this franchise. How his dynamic will work with Supergirl, more with Guy Garner, more with Hawkeye. And I'm actually, for the first time in a while, excited and looking forward to DCU. I think James Gunn, he said he has a 10-year idea for the DCU, and I can't wait to see how it plans out, because, Clayface is coming out soon. We got Supergirl. We got Brave and the Bold, new DC movies, and I'm actually excited. And William, after all this talk, what do you think about the movie, and what's your hype, I guess, level for the movie before you see it now? Like, you're looking forward to seeing it?
I mean, the positive things that you guys are saying about it do sound nice, but I wanted to ask everybody just real quick, just in a really quick summary, like, because you guys sounded like you didn't like Lois Lane.
No, she was.
What was it that you guys really like rubbed you the wrong way? That just
Right.
Guy Gardner's haircut.
Like, if you had to summarize it in a really short.
Right. I would say it's definitely, okay, it's a very stupid reason, but I have to agree with Christian that his haircut should not be a major issue, but it just is. But if you look at the comics, that's how his hair is in the comics too.
It's just so cheesy. Like,
I mean, yeah.
It brings you out, huh? I don't blame you. It'll be a small thing, but it's something that takes you out of the experience.
So my issues were it throws you straight into this brand new universe, and you don't really have like a explanation or like build up to why these characters would feel this way, or it like throws you right in there.
Literally.
And when you're watching that for the first time, it's just a little jarring, and then it just depends on how much you like James Gunn or not. I do like James Gunn, but there's also sometimes where it can be a little too much, where there's like an emotional scene and then they cut into just a little bit of humor. Forced humor, it feels like. Yeah, just a little bit. But I also understand that that's Superman. It's fun, it's whimsical,
Listen, it's definitely more of a kid or family friendly movie.
but it's not though,
I
because
know.
there are a lot of dark.
Yes,
there is a lot
yes,
of dark
but
stuff in this.
yes, but listen, if you watch Man of Steel, if you watch any of those DCEU movies, no
Mhm.
kid, or no, those are not like family movies like this one is. Like James Gunn made Guardians of the Galaxy. The third film was definitely darker, but it was still something families could watch. This movie, the James Gunn film, one of the greatest comic movies directors, in my opinion, ever. He made a film for the DC that families, even though it has dark moments, it's still a family movie. And it's still a movie that during the summer you could take. Yes, it has dark moments, but you can still take your kids to see it because it's Superman. It gives you hope. It inspires you to be a better person. And Ben Affleck said he couldn't take his kids to see his movie because of how dark it was. This movie,
Really?
yes,
This one.
No, yeah.
This super. Oh.
yeah.
I'm
Ben
tripping,
Affleck said he couldn't take his kids to see his movies in the DCEU.
Mhm.
Well, this one,
Batman
it's not.
versus Superman.
Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel, those were darker movies. This movie is definitely, the tone is a lot different, and it's not Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder makes those darker tone movies, which I love a lot. But this is the opposite. This is definitely a movie that's meant for families to watch together because it has everything. If you're a dog person, it has crypto. If you're a kid, you have Superman. If you're a Lex Luthor or if you're a Nicholas Hoult fan, you have he's the villain. This movie has so much more that could offer families and kids more than what the DCEU does. That's my one other pro of this movie as well.
But
Also,
is that like the only? Oh, my bad. What were you gonna say?
You're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, is that the? Let's say you comparing it to family-friendly movies.
Well, I mean, this movie is definitely in my opinion, a movie that families still watch because I wouldn't take my kid to see Batman vs Superman. I wouldn't take my kid to see Man of Steel, or maybe I would. I don't know, but what's the movie called? Justice League. I wouldn't take my kids to see that movie because that villain is generally darker than this Lex Luthor, and that villain, his I guess you could call rats, whatever. They're definitely more terrifying than the ones we saw in this movie. This movie is more of a lighter tone. It's more there's more humor, and it's James Gunn. He makes movies for everyone to watch.
Mhm.
And if it's just not your movie, it's not for you, that means you're not a superhero fan. But I've had friends who are not superhero fans, but they still watch this movie. Just yesterday, this week, I've had friends who don't watch comic book movies, and they still watch it because it's Superman. And it looks like it's much
yeah,
more.
because
Yeah,
there's some
exactly.
family-friendly movies that are good. Like I was gonna compare it to The Incredibles. Like what you say
Mhm.
in the family-friendly movie area. Would
Right.
this movie be better than something like The Incredibles, or would this movie
Mm.
be not as good?
That actually, I would say, The Incredibles is 100% more of a kid-friendly movie as well. 'Cause that's just flat out cartoon. This one is live action.
I would
It's still
disagree.
what's up?
I would disagree with The Incredibles.
You disagree?
A dude tries to commit suicide in the first 5 minutes.
Oh, he did. The Bombardier French
Well,
guy. I forgot about
if you
that.
say that way, that's a different thing. But I'm trying to explain it. Listen, kids will understand what happens in that movie. It's a Pixar film. It's a cartoon film. It's a family of superheroes like the Fantastic Four. I was still listen. We're going a little off topic, a little bit over time, but I'm just gonna say this Superman film. I would take my kid to see it. It's definitely a family friendly movie in my opinion, and it's a solid 8 out of 10. That's my opinion, and I'm ready when you guys are to move on now. That's my take.
Last thing I will say,
Yes.
I really enjoyed the scene where Crypto beat the crap out of Lex Luthor. I was
Dude,
like, oh god.
That reminded me of Hulk and Loki.
Yeah, literally, he was just beating the crap out of him.
Yes.
It was so good.
But that was part of the forced humor I was talking about.
Mm.
I think that was forced humor in my opinion. Like
I found it funny, and in
me
the
too.
audience in the theater,
Mhm.
like I heard a lot of people laughing. So.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a moment to laugh about. But again, that was, in my opinion, humor that was forced for slightly no reason. They could have done that part a little bit better. I think I'm not sure how, but that just seemed it was forced because he just flew in, attacked Lex Luthor. I guess because Luthor put his finger on Superman, wanted to protect him, but that was the part of the forced humor I was talking about. But it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a 8+ movie, but it's still a movie that is a good start for the DCU in general.
Yeah. All
right, guys. With that one down, let's move on to one of the trailers that we got this week, actually. And I don't know if you guys remember Tron Legacy. That's the first Tron movie I've seen. And in watching the not performance, watching the announcement teaser trailer start to go live at CinemaCon, they gave a nice presentation. That's what I meant. They gave us a nice presentation of lasers all over the stage. Like they really smoke everywhere. They really did a good job to present this new Tron trailer. And I hope you guys saw it because we're about to react to the trailer right now. What do you guys think about this new Tron movie overall? And you're looking forward to watching it just in general?
Bro, what's Jared Leto doing there? Hey, that's crazy. You know what? He doesn't look like he's doing a bad job, though. I'll say that.
All right,
you know what?
Perry?
Crazy.
So,
yeah.
Tron Legacy is one of my guilty pleasure favorite movies. I adored being into that video game world. The Daft Punk score is an all-timer. Not a program, I'm a user. And just all these things. Also, that was directed by Joseph Kosinski, who made Top Gun Maverick and F1 most recently. So that was I thought a really good legacy sequel to the original Tron. I know the original Tron doesn't exactly hold up visually, but at the time that was like a breakthrough. I want to be super excited for this movie because like I just said, I love Tron Legacy. I'm very nervous about this one. Mostly because I still don't exactly get what it's. I get it, they're going into the real world, but there's no follow up to how Tron Legacy ended. But also the director of this movie, I'll probably mispronounce this, but Joachim Ronning, I believe. I'm just not a big fan of his filmography. He made Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, the last one, and Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. I thought both of those were pretty awful. Jared Leto is kind of a hit or miss, mostly miss actor. That has me a little worried. I do love Greta Lee a lot, and Evan Peters is great too.
That's his name. I forgot.
Right. I don't exactly know why they're bringing Jeff Bridges back for this movie, considering his character died in Tron Legacy. Spoiler, as like the big sacrifice in the end. So I'm very cautious going into it. I really hope that this is amazing. I'm just very cautious about it.
All right, William, how about you?
You know, like I said earlier, I was really surprised to see Jared Leto and Disney working together. That's a crazy sentence. But needless to say, it looks interesting. You know, it doesn't look half bad. If anything, kind of gives me the same vibe that the Tron that I watched, more than 10 years ago. Wow, we're getting old. But
don't say that again.
But it looks cool. Yeah, no, we're 18 years old, all of us. All right, we stopped aging. All right, but yeah, I'm just curious to see what they're gonna do because these type of movies they like to do sequel and sequel after sequel. So as long as they have a good something good to start with, I'll be more than willing to go watch the sequel and the sequel after that. I want to watch good stuff. I don't want to be bored. And I wasn't bored watching this. Looks cool.
Christian?
One more thing. One thing
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to this is the 9 Inch Nails.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But sorry.
You know, it's funny. I know it's all good. Looking at the comments, I saw people talking about 9 Inch Nails, and that's a name I haven't heard in a minute, dude.
There it
Yeah,
is.
it's good to see. It's good to
All right,
see.
Christian.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like Perry said, I'm a little bit nervous about it, especially with their cast selection. Jared Leto is, kind of a hit or miss actor in my opinion, and sometimes it's more of a miss. Like Morbius, for example. Like there was a lot
The
of
best
hype.
movie ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Miss, you mean a hit?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a record breaker. It was definitely an amazing movie. Like cinematography was incredible. But besides
10 out of
that,
10.
10 out of 10. Yeah, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Tron Legacy. Was definitely one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. I think it released in like 2011. Quote, I don't know if that's correct, or 2012.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. We were all young, but
We're still young.
I definitely like the cinematography already just from the trailer. It looks good. I like how there's a modern take to it, and it's not the same exact story as Tron Legacy. They're trying to do something different, bringing it into the modern world, which I think is interesting. Do you guys know the protagonist for this movie? Because I see a lot of antagonists. I'm assuming Jared Leto is the antagonist.
So
I hated to say this, but I thought it was Jared Leto.
Jared Leto is playing Ares in this. I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy.
He seems like a bad guy.
I feel like he's a bad guy.
Definitely.
I think Greta Lee is probably going to be the good guy. And
Guess we'll find out. I mean, I thought at first that Jared Leto was the protagonist, and I thought Evan Peters was the antagonist. I thought.
Because he's feeling and stuff in the trailer, talking about feeling stuff. So I was like, maybe they're afraid to make him the protagonist because of all the backlash. I don't know. But,
yeah.
So. I mean, Christian, were you done or were you still talking?
Yeah. I think I'm done, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward. I'm definitely gonna watch it for sure. It's not one of the movies I would skip this year.
All right, and all right. As for me, watching Tron. Watching the presentation at CinemaCon, watching Tron Legacy, I and all my friends, we were all questionable on Jared Leto alone being in this movie just as a whole. Because, last film I've seen him in was, unfortunately, Morbius. But Tron Legacy, Tron as a franchise, they're known for the score, the visuals, the visuals. That's the best thing about this franchise. The music and the action. This movie, the two things that does stand out to me the most, and Perry already mentioned one of them, is 9 Inch Nails and, again, the visuals. Like, this movie is definitely made for not IMAX, Dolby Cinema. Because Dolby Cinema is meant for visuals and audio. So this movie is definitely meant to watch in Dolby Cinema. I am looking forward to seeing who exactly is the protagonist, who's the antagonist, and looking forward to seeing the motorcycles in action in the air. Because if you guys actually noticed, when they're actually riding or in action in the air, a trail follows them, and this is gorgeous. Right, the visual of this is gorgeous alone in the end of the trailer. But I watched Tron Legacy once. I was like 11 or 12 years old, so I barely remember what happened there after we watched it again. But just because of the actors in here, the visuals, and the music, that's alone gonna bring me to my seat to watch this movie. Because I don't remember what happened in the other previous movies, but knowing who Jared Leto is, seeing Evan Peters here, that and the visuals again, I'm gonna say visuals like 10,000 times. Those are the only reasons why I'm watching this movie, and that being a Disney film. This is one of the main reasons why I watch their films, even if it's Pixar movies. I don't care. But the fact that this is a Disney film, dude, that alone will bring me to my seat. And they really sold me during that CinemaCon presentation. Like, I was surprised, and they got me more hyped for this film, even though it has Jared Leto. But Do you guys have any more thoughts on this movie?
I would
in general?
highly recommend that you rewatch Tron Legacy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, but man, the visuals in this trailer alone looks beautiful. Like they really want us to know and understand this franchise and what it's meant for.
All I'm gonna say, I hope we see more of Korra in this.
Mm. Yeah.
And this is coming out in October, right?
Yep. Very
This
soon.
year, October?
Yeah.
That's pretty soon, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any last thoughts on Tron before we move on?
You know what? I'm tripping. Usually, colors dictate who's the bad guy.
That's
It's
true.
gonna, you know.
That's true. But so far, we've seen just red.
And
Red
just
is-
saying, and I feel like it's like a misdirection that the trailer's trying to do, where it's like, oh yeah, he's feeling, but oh, the guy that feels turns out to be the bad guy. Wouldn't be surprised if they do something like that.
Again, man, I can't wait for this movie. Like Tron definitely has mixed reactions from me and other critics for sure, because seeing just who's casting here, being Jared Leto, that might be the one drawback to why this might not be a great film. But the only reason why I'm seeing this movie is the three reasons: Nine Inch Nails, the visuals, and it's a Disney film. The three main reasons why I will still give it my money. Maybe twice. But the first
And you
time,
know what?
definitely Dolby Cinema.
When he locks in, he can do a good performance. Fight Club, classic. You know, boom.
But he locked in for Morbius, and look what happened.
Exact 10 out of 10, dude.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Tron was the first of 3 trailers we're going to talk about. The next one being a bit more gory, if you guys don't mind gory, because based on the video game, we're going to be reacting to one of the greatest trailers I've seen this week, the sequel for Mortal freaking Kombat 2. Guys, what are your thoughts on this trailer alone?
Dude, what's
Mortal
the butcher
Kombat.
doing there?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I had to do it.
I know.
Dude.
Perry, we'll go with you first.
Oi, yeah. So, I thought it was a good trailer. I was not a fan of the first Mortal Kombat, the recent one. Didn't really care for it. Honestly, forgot it existed until this trailer
Wow.
came back out. But I do love some Billy Butcher action, Carl Urban. And I see that he's playing Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
I'm not really too into Mortal Kombat lore, like all the characters. I am familiar with Johnny Cage, and he's like a real asshole, and that. So I'm excited to see him in this. He'll probably bring a lot of comedic elements into it, given the character. I mean, you talked about gore, and that you definitely get that with Mortal Kombat and the fatalities. I thought some of the visuals just in this trailer alone, I watched the Red Band trailer. You definitely get that. So if you're a fan of the Mortal Kombat games, I think you'll be a fan of this. I don't really have too much to say on it. Like I said, I don't really know too much of the lore. I hope it's better than the first one, because I didn't really care for that. But this looks pretty promising.
All right, William?
It looks interesting. You know, I hate to kind of be a little bit of a negative Nelly, but it looks like a regular movie. You know, I'm not seeing anything where I'm like,
no, come on.
you know, it looks interesting. I like, you know, of course, I'm not going to say I don't like, that sounds weird, gore, but I'm not super hyped. It just seems like an action movie, and it's cool. There's nothing wrong with an action movie, but you know, it didn't really hook me in right away. I didn't feel like the right things. It might be good, you know, but if some of these video game adaptation movies, sometimes you know, they're not always the best. Sometimes they could be a little bit of a miss.
Well, this one looks like this could be a hit to me. I hope
Hopefully, you know what I mean? Hopefully I'm just being negative, but I just need to see more. I need to see what direction they're trying to take with this. You know, because of course they're trying to do something big, it seems, but I don't know. I need to see more. I need to see where what the story is. It just seems Like, are we gonna get a movie for every character now? That'd be kind of interesting. Where you see every character's backstory. But
I mean, look at this makeup right here. That looks beautiful and scary at the same time. All the teeth.
see, that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't. I can't hate an action movie, but I'm not. Maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. I'm not like super into like every action movie now. They gotta have a little bit of story, a little bit of plot to it.
All right, Christian, help us out here.
Yeah. Well, for sure, I think that Mortal Kombat 2, I think it definitely has its own audience. You definitely have to. It appeals to the fans, to the fans of Mortal Kombat. If you grew up playing it, I think that it'll be a very enjoyable movie. Just looking off of the CGI and the cinematography from the trailer, it doesn't look like a bad movie. I think it'll be somewhere up there in the 70s, 80s. It won't be like an amazing, like, you know, 90s movie. Like, and when I say 90s, I mean like Rotten Tomato, like 90s. I don't think it'll be anything like that, but definitely 70s or 80s, an enjoyable experience for fans of the franchise. Me personally, I don't know if I'll watch this in October. It really just depends on the reviews, I'd say. I'm not like a huge Mortal Kombat fan, to be honest. Actually, gore, not my forte for sure. I mean, I don't mind it in certain aspects, but when it gets a little bit extreme, that's where I'm like, okay, it's a little weird. But yeah, I think I think that this movie definitely will be good. It just not for the average, Joe, not just for everybody. I think it'll be good for Mortal Kombat fans and people who grew up playing this game. So yeah.
Listen, man, I disagree, thank God, with William and Perry. Like, I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly myself. I played Mortal Kombat, but I wasn't like eating, sleeping, breathing that game. I am just an overall fan of any action. I'm a fan of gory. Like, I love watching The Boys on Prime Video. That's the best example of goriness you will get. I love watching gory. I love watching insane action. And the fact that I know what Mortal Kombat brings when you play it, the fact that they're bringing that game in, it looks like they're bringing more of that game into live action. Carl Urban looks amazing as Johnny Cage. He looks amazing. I loved seeing more elements in this movie. I love the visual effects in this movie. The music definitely cannot and should not disappoint. The one thing that I'm trying to question is I hope they're not adding too much in here. Like, I hope they're not doing too much. I do think it's going to be better than the first one. I do think so for sure. I just don't want us to feel like it's, 1 hour and 50-minute film when its runtime should be longer than it is or shorter than it is. Like Superman, for example, that movie was 2 hours, but it felt like it was 2 hours and 30 minutes. I feel like that movie flew by. I feel like this one will feel like it'll be longer than the runtime, only because of how much they're trying to pack into this film alone. But it just depends on the pace and the story in this film for sure, because I'm a sucker for action and gory, and that's what we're getting in this film. 100%. They're definitely taking it to the next level, and this is definitely not a kid-friendly film. Not a family-friendly film. But, man, the visuals stand out. I love the visual effects. And Johnny Cage, he's a great addition to this movie. A great addition. And I'm looking forward to seeing Jade especially. And I just want a good movie. I want a better movie. And sequels are meant to up their game from the first one. The trilogy, a third film in a franchise, is supposed to up their game from the sequel. So I hope this one ups its game from the first one, and based on what I'm seeing from this one trailer alone, the first trailer, it seems like they're definitely upping their game. I just hope that they're not doing too much. That's my only thing that I'm trying to look out for. But this was my one takeaway. That makeup, all that teeth, that looks freaking gorgeous.
But you know what, dude? Johnny Cage should be younger.
Describe that for sure.
Younger?
Yeah. Because when I think of Johnny Cage, I think of a guy who's like in his 30s, late 20s. I feel like Carl Urban, he out-aged himself for this role. He would be better put it in another position.
But like how old is Johnny Cage like supposed to be?
I'm not sure. I gotta look that up. But I would imagine somebody like Ryan Gosling. That would be
not.
Come on, because I'm not saying for him to play Deadpool, because I don't want to see Deadpool Johnny Cage. But Johnny Cage, when you see the cutscenes in the game, he's always talking shit. He's always, about the ladies. Or who's a good example? You ever seen when Captain America was playing the Human Torch?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. So you get literally that character is Johnny Cage. So boom, Chris Evans should have played Johnny Cage, but maybe they didn't have Chris Evans money.
Wow. All right, guys. Any last thoughts on the Mortal Kombat trailer that we just watched, or on the movie as a whole?
I think that's it for me, anyways.
Yeah, same.
All right, that's it. All right. So with that down, I would share things, but due to the sake of the time, we'll just skip that topic for now and move that to episode 18. So our last topic of today will be discussing fan reactions or the critic spoiler-free reviews on Fantastic Four that comes out next week already. So we'll do that as we watch the trailer for as well. So I put the trailer real quick here. Spoiler-free reviews. So this is their thoughts. Obviously, this reviews came out just I think a couple minutes ago. Let me put the trailer real quick right here. All right. 1 second. Here we go. Okay, so the first spoiler-free review goes to @Dio. He goes, Fantastic Four is a masterpiece. The visual effects and the score are a huge standout, which I read a lot of. Galactus is huge in IMAX. He's more comic accurate. It's emotional and gives you hope. It beats you off and does not stop. And in all caps, stay until the end credits. I have a good thing. We're seeing who in the end credits.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you know who the big bad villain was in the original Fantastic Four, you'd know who we could expect a tease of for Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, George McKay goes, Fantastic Four quite possibly is the best Marvel Studios film ever released. Absolutely loaded with talent and stand-up performances from Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn. If you thought the MCU died with Endgame, think again. Thoughtfully crafted and easily a genre-defining classic. That's actually the first time I read this review, and that sounds very good. @Katie goes, Fantastic Four is a propulsive grade A entertainment, fluent in political theory and cinema history, sexy and provocative, tight as a drum, and thrillingly tactile. Bring tissues, but not because you're going to cry. I'm guessing because you're going to laugh, maybe? Who knows? A couple more here. I've seen Fantastic Four. There were four. The main four were excellently cast and radiate chemistry. Their interactions are just as exciting as any action scene. Galactus and Silver Surfer are incredibly realized and bring serious stakes. Something missing from recent MCU movies. A treat. And I did a video actually with these reviews as well. I'm trying to see if I can find another. Here we go. I was a little nervous about Fantastic Four. The characters mean a lot to me, but this movie is a magnificent and awe-inspiring intro to the new MCU corner. The cast soars. Galactus is epic, more comic accurate. Moms are the most powerful beings in this or any universe. I gotta find one more good one. I actually took a screenshot of this. Here, I'll do BD, who the world knows as Brandon Davis, who I actually met at CinemaCon last year. He goes, let me find real quick. Here. So Fantastic Four First Steps has a lot of fantastic here we go. Fantastic Four First Steps is visually one of the best things Marvel's ever made. Parts feel like Interstellar and demand IMAX. Interstellar. That's a big shout out. Galactus is awesome. Silver Surfer looks really, really good. VFX were often immaculate. Cosmically and on Earth, Matt Shakman, who you guys maybe know, director of WandaVision, Matt Shakman dropped a visual feast. So just based on those reviews, it looks like Fantastic Four, the main standouts was it's visually stunning. Silver Surfer and Galactus really stand out, and the cast, the dynamic is very family-like. So based on those reviews and the movie in general, what do you guys think about the movie and where your expectations and hopes are heading into this? Perry, we'll go with you first.
Yeah, I'm excited for Fantastic Four. I am hopeful that they can get these characters done right. I'm not really going into it with too much expectations. Uh, I'm just there for a fun ride. I From what I've seen, I like the 60s aesthetic and or 60s futuristic aesthetic, and like the Michael Giacchino score with it as well. I think is great. I don't exactly know how they'll do with Galactus in live action, especially this kind of version, but we'll see. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it's fantastic. Say that again.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Hey, William.
You said that review in that non-spoiler review mentioned something about bringing stakes back into, and I'm really curious to see what that even means when we go watch this movie, because I like stakes. I like it when movies take themselves a little seriously. But and I remember when we watched that Marvel movie with the with the Bucky squad. Oh man, I'm so bad with names. I really hope it's real stakes and it's not stuff that they just undo. 30 minutes later. I'm trying to remember the name of that. Yeah, like remember when that poor little girl got turned into ash?
Yes.
Into a shadow. Yeah, that was shocking, but I had a feeling deep down that they were just going to undo that 30 minutes later. And they did, which is fine. I'm not trying to be a horrible person. I'm just saying. Feels like stakes are undone at a moment's notice just to like shock you as the audience and then be like, no, everything's okay. I don't know. I have weird taste.
All right, Christian?
Well, yeah. Okay, so as I said previously in the Superman review, this is actually my most anticipated film of the year, personally. I'm really looking forward to July 25th. I don't know if I'll watch it launch day, maybe the day after, release day. But for sure, I'm excited. At first, I was a little bit put off by the casting choices, just because I didn't think they made much sense. But after seeing the trailer and seeing the chemistry, it's pretty apparent that I think it will work. The Thing looks a little bit funny, but it's comic accurate. I think that's what's important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He looks like he does in the comics. So I think it's gonna be great. The action already looks good. I think it's a little bit daunting that they're going with Galactus as the villain, because it's just that's a way to start off. It's a really powerful villain. You know what I mean? So I don't even personally my take is I don't even think they defeat the villain. I mean, I honestly in this movie, how do you defeat Galactus?
Listen, there's a reason we saw the spaceship in the post-credit scene of Thunderbolts. Maybe they're escaping the world for a reason.
Exactly. So I think this is one of those movies, kind of like Infinity War, where maybe the heroes don't win it. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? I think it's definitely gonna be one of those movies that lead to other movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So. But I really like that they brought it back to the 60s. I think that's really cool. It looks, honestly, I'm really excited to watch it. It looks like a great movie.
I have to admit, when I first heard it was in the 60s era, I was very skeptical. My favorite Fantastic Four movie will always be, for now, the one with Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, the 2006 version of it. That's my personal favorite one. This one looks very comic accurate, which is definitely a positive thing. It's definitely family friendly. I keep saying that term, but it looks like it. And the fact that Galactus looks more comic accurate, looks more human form, that's a big upside. And Silver Surfer being a woman and a male, thank God there's a woman version. I think her name is Shala Bao in the comics. Looks like they're bringing her in live action, not the man. So I was very skeptical on the woman Silver Surfer and very skeptical on the 60s version of this movie. And it's definitely the cast. I was very skeptical on Joseph Quinn and Ben and Ibn Mas Backrack as the Thing, but seeing how they all interact as a family, their dynamic, and how this looks like they're really bringing the stakes high as hell in this movie. And the post-credits at Thunderbolts, they're leaving their universe to go to 616 for a reason. So who knows what happens to that world, Galactus or Doom, who knows what happens, but this film looks like it's really positive reviews. It looks really great visually, and I hope this, is Marvel's next big thing since Endgame. People are saying as well. So I don't know. I'm seeing this Wednesday, so my review will obviously be up that night. But the visuals look amazing. Galactus looks comic accurate and scary, which I saw him last time as a cloud. So I hope this version of him is much better, and I hope Matt Shackman, the director, I hope he cooks up a feast. So that's where I'm going. Without talking too much, I'm seeing it Wednesday, so wait for my review that night as well. Any last thoughts on Fantastic Four, guys?
I think that's it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's a must watch for me.
Yeah.
I was just gonna agree. Like when I heard it was in the '60s, I was iffy too because you gotta sell me on the experience of the '60s. But every trailer we've seen, I'm sold. It feels like they're in this weird futuristic '60s era, and I like it. It's cool.
Perry, any last thoughts on Fantastic Four or anything we've talked about today?
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm seeing it on Thursday. And yeah, I just am hoping for the best with it.
Christian?
I think that's it. I mean, like I said, most anticipated film for me for the year. And I think it's going to be a blast for sure.
Sounds good. All right, guys, this was episode 17 of the Film Room. Episode 18 will take place sometime next week or within the 2 weeks, whenever we have enough available for the podcast. But this was actually the best time we could do it today. Thanks, Perry. Thanks, William and Christian, for joining today. And guys, stay tuned for my review on Fantastic Four Wednesday night. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It'll be out everywhere. I'm looking forward to seeing all these movies coming out very soon. And this was a fun. Season 1 ends on episode 20, so very soon. And yeah, just stay tuned for more content to come, and have a good day, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great day, everybody.